Now, the marketing departments over at OnePlus and Samsung will have you believe you need the latest and greatest flagship. But do you really? The OnePlus 13R and the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE both pack flagship level power and specs without totally wrecking your wallet, or at least not too much. But which one of these two gives you the ultimate flagship experience? We're diving deep into the design, screen, performance, cameras, and battery to find out. Hey, I'm Olive, your host here at Versus.com. Whoa, hold your horses. Let me hit you in the face with some very exciting news. We're doing a giveaway for the entire Galaxy S25 lineup. So you have the chance to snag a Galaxy S25, a Galaxy S25 Plus, or even the Galaxy S25 Ultra. To enter the giveaway and get all the details, just click the link in the description below, and good luck. When it comes to design, both phones are pretty similar, featuring flat matte aluminum frames and glass backs. However, OnePlus doesn't specify what type of matte glass is used on the 13R, while the Galaxy S24 FE is equipped with Corning Gorilla Glass Victus Plus. Another key difference is the camera array, as both phones mimic their flagship counterparts. In terms of weight, the OnePlus 13R comes in at 206 grams, while the Galaxy weighs 214 grams. For water and dust resistance, both phones carry IP65 certifications, which means they're dust tight but only water resistant. As for color options, the OnePlus 13R comes in Nebula Noir and Astral Trail. The Galaxy S24 FE is available in gray, graphite, blue, mint, and yellow, though some of these colors are market dependent. We asked around in the office and most of us preferred the design of the Galaxy, mainly because the rear camera bump is more discreet compared to the OnePlus. That said, the bump is still off-center, which means if you place it screen up on a surface, it's going to wobble. Now, let's check out these screens. The OnePlus 13R comes with a 6.78-inch AMOLED display, while the Galaxy S24 FE has a slightly smaller 6.7-inch AMOLED screen. Both are flat displays. For screen brightness, OnePlus claims a high brightness mode of 1,600 nits and a peak brightness of 4,500 nits, while Samsung only provides a peak brightness of 1,900 nits. To put these claims to the test, we simulated full direct sunlight at over 100,000 lux using a powerful lamp and screen luminance meter. We then measured the maximum brightness on a full white screen on both devices. The OnePlus 13R reached 1,662 nits, which is actually a bit higher than its officially claimed number. The Galaxy S24 FE hits 1,351 nits, which, to be honest, isn't bad at all either. For security, both phones come with under-display fingerprint scanners. Now, for more information about screen resolution, refresh rate, screen protection, and much more, feel free to pause the video right here. We have to say that for us personally, the OnePlus takes a clear win when it comes to the quality of the screen, as it has a higher resolution and better HDR format support. On top of that, the bezels on the OnePlus are super slim, especially when you compare them to the uneven, chunky bezels on the Galaxy. But now, let's see which one packs the best speakers. For audio, both phones have stereo speakers, with one speaker at the bottom and another one as the earpiece. Here's a quick audio sample for you. So as you've heard, both phones get pretty loud, but the OnePlus pushes out a slightly higher volume compared to the Galaxy. That said, both phones lack some bass. Now let's check out how these cameras compare. For the main cameras, both the Galaxy and the OnePlus pack 50 megapixel lenses. With the wide lens, you can see how the OnePlus captures warmer tones, while the Galaxy leans into cooler but more precise colors. Indoors, the Galaxy definitely takes the win for color accuracy, as the OnePlus tends to overboost both color and contrast. For ultra-wide, both phones come with rather small sensors, with the OnePlus using an 8 megapixel lens and the Galaxy packing a 12 megapixel lens. With this lens, phones, it's pretty much the same story as with the main lens. The OnePlus once again overboosts contrast and saturation. Indoors, it's even more obvious that the Galaxy captures more natural colors and a better dynamic range, keeping the scene closer to reality. For portrait at 1x zoom, the OnePlus definitely does a better job with edge detection, as the Galaxy's bokeh looks a bit too artificial. However, in portrait mode with the telephoto lenses, the Galaxy actually looks more natural, even though it's still not perfect. For video with the main lens, the Galaxy maxes out at 8K 30 FPS, while the OnePlus tops out at 4K 60 FPS. Here, the Galaxy is clearly the better performer, as the OnePlus struggles with excessive exposure switching and aggressive focus hunting. For ultra-wide video, the OnePlus is capped at a rather low 1080p 60 FPS, while the Galaxy can shoot at up to 4K 30 FPS. And just like with the main lens, the ultra-wide video on the OnePlus suffers from overexposed footage and lower overall quality, making the Galaxy the stronger choice once again. And when it comes to portrait mode video, well, do I even have to say it? Yep, the Galaxy is the best here, there's no contest. At the front, the OnePlus comes with a 16 megapixel camera, while the Galaxy has a 10 megapixel camera. When it comes to sharpness, the OnePlus definitely does better. However, for color accuracy, a middle ground between both photos would have been ideal. In low light, the OnePlus definitely has the upper hand when it comes to dynamic range. However, my face looks far sharper on the Galaxy. For video, the OnePlus is capped at a rather disappointing 1080p 30 FPS, while the Galaxy can shoot it up to 4K 60 FPS. Neither phone has autofocus, so if you move too far away, both will look blurry. That said, the Galaxy has slightly more accurate colors.
So now we're gonna test out the audio on both of these devices, starting off with the OnePlus. How do I sound on here? As you can see, I'm in a relatively busy area. Moving on to the Galaxy. How do I sound over here? Is it any better than the OnePlus?
As you heard, both phones perform similarly in background noise reduction, but the Galaxy's audio comes through a bit louder. For zoom, the Galaxy rocks a small 8 megapixel lens with 3x optical zoom. On the other hand, the OnePlus has a 50 megapixel telephoto with 2x zoom. This shot is just to show you the difference in zoom between the optical telephoto lenses on both phones. At 10x and 20x zoom, you can really see how the OnePlus's bigger telephoto lens captures way more detail compared to the smaller lens on the Galaxy. Yes, the Galaxy can go up to 30x zoom, but honestly, the quality of the shots is just poor. In low light with the main lens, the OnePlus delivers the best dynamic range, capturing a well-balanced shot. However, its colors do lean a bit too warm. With the ultra-wide lens though, neither phone really stands out. The OnePlus goes overboard with saturation, while the Galaxy lacks detail. With the optical telephoto lenses, the OnePlus surprisingly does a great job preserving details in the shadows, while the Galaxy handles highlights better. For video with the main lens, both phones struggle with noise, but as you can see, the Galaxy is clearly brighter. With the ultra-wide lens though, there's absolutely no competition. At least with the Galaxy, you can kinda see what you recorded. So at the end of the day, the OnePlus usually goes for contrast-heavy photos with lots of saturation, while the Galaxy sticks to a more natural look. That being said, the OnePlus performs better in telephoto shots, while the Galaxy is the better choice for ultra-wide shots and video. So picking the best one really just comes down to what you use the most. But enough talk about cameras, let's check out the brains of these devices. For hardware, the OnePlus 13R packs a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 with 12GB of RAM, while the Galaxy S24 FE runs on the Exynos 2400E and packs 8GB of RAM. Here you can also check out the other RAM and storage options available, though keep in mind some configurations are market dependent. But to really see how these phones compare, we put them through some demanding games and video editing tests to check their real-world performance. First, we started up with Grid Autosport. We modified the preferences file to unlock 60 FPS since the game is locked to 30 FPS by default. Both phones handled it pretty well, averaging around 59 FPS throughout gameplay. However, it is worth mentioning that the OnePlus can also run Grid Legends, a newer and more demanding version, whereas the Galaxy cannot. Next, we launched Wuthering Waves and cranked the graphics all the way up. The OnePlus stayed very stable at 58 FPS throughout the session, but it did hit a maximum temperature of 50 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, the Galaxy averaged around 45 FPS with dips to 37 FPS, but it stayed cooler at 45 degrees Celsius. Moving on, we created a 3-minute 4K video and rendered it at 4K 30 FPS in 2 video editors. In InShot, the OnePlus was quicker than the Galaxy by a solid 44 seconds, making a noticeable difference in rendering speed. In CapCut, the OnePlus was still faster, but this time the gap was much smaller with only a 7-second difference. In addition to these real-world scenarios, we ran some benchmarks. In Geekbench 6, the OnePlus took the lead in single-core performance, but interestingly, the Galaxy actually did better in multi-core performance. That said, the results were very close overall. In 3D Mark's Wildlife Extreme Stress Test, though, the OnePlus absolutely crushed the Galaxy. It also maintained higher stability over time at 68%, while the Galaxy struggled at just 54%. In Antutu, well, deja vu, the OnePlus once again outperformed the Galaxy, putting up a much higher score. As for extra hardware features, the OnePlus 13R comes with an IR blaster, which lets you control TVs, ACs, and other IR-based devices. It also has a physical proximity sensor, while the Galaxy S24 FE relies on a virtual one, which can sometimes cause issues, like the screen not going dark during calls, for example. Now, moving on to the software side of things, the OnePlus 13R runs Oxygen OS 15 based on Android 15, while the Galaxy S24 FE runs One UI 6.1 based on Android 14. OnePlus promises 4 years of OS updates and 6 years of security updates, whereas Samsung offers a massive 7 years of OS and security updates. Oxygen OS 15 on the OnePlus comes with super smooth animations and deep personalization options. On top of that, OnePlus has added some AI goodies, like the AI editor in the gallery, where you can delete objects or reflections or even enhance detail in your photos. There's also O+ Connect, which lets you share files with iPhones. The Galaxy is still waiting for One UI 7, which should bring a fresh look. But even now, One UI 6.1 already packs some cool tools like Sketch to Image, which lets you add realistic elements to your photos, and Instant Slow-Mo, which turns regular videos into slow motion with just a long press. And of course, Samsung DeX is here, allowing you to use your phone as a desktop when connected to a monitor. So, putting hardware and software together, we've got 2 very capable phones, both packed with practical features and AI tools that make everyday use a breeze. However, if you're a gamer or someone who cares about raw performance, then the OnePlus is the only way to go here, as its game performance is leagues ahead of the Galaxy. Now let's move on to our last category.
Okay.
Here, the OnePlus 13R packs a massive 6,000 mAh battery, while the Galaxy S24 FE comes with a much smaller 4,700 mAh one. For wired charging speeds, the OnePlus supports up to 80 watts. Meanwhile, the Galaxy is capped at 25 watts. However, Samsung does have the benefit of wireless charging rated at 15 watts. During our testing, we clearly saw that the OnePlus lasted longer, which means it'll technically last you long enough to keep watching all those YouTube videos at midnight instead of actually sleeping. Now, let's talk prices. The OnePlus 13R retails for $599, while the Samsung Galaxy S24 FE comes in at $649. That's a $50 difference, and with that cash, you could buy around 20 cheeseburgers from McDonald's. So all in all, both devices are very competitive specs for its price. However, we have to say that the OnePlus offers more performance for your money thanks to that powerful Snapdragon chipset. It is also cheaper to get at full price. On the other hand, the Galaxy packs a decent camera, and it has the longest software support of these 2 devices. So in the end, you really need to see what your priorities are and if you can snatch a nice deal for any of these phones. And talking about deals, you can find links to both of these devices in the description below. If you want to see how the OnePlus 13R compares to its flagship sibling, make sure to click this video right here. And before you go, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and hit subscribe, as we're always testing out new devices to help you make the best choice. We'll see you in our next video, and until then, take care.
back.